Minutes today, their friendship was put to one side. First prize in the second city is Premiership survival. It's the biggest match at the bottom so far.
Darren Carter! Oh, wow! Pennant's there! It's in! Oh, didn't he keep his cool magnificently? It might be 5 for Birmingham. It is!
Our game of the day is the big one at the Blues, Birmingham against West Brom. High noon brought high drama at St Andrews. Well, 90 minutes coming up for you in just a moment. And that game is just part of a hugely entertaining day in the Premiership, where our game of the day at the start of play, Birmingham were third bottom, 3 points behind rivals West Brom, but with a game in hand. So today's derby was absolutely critical for both in the fight for survival. Steve Bruce made 3 changes to the side that lost at Middlesbrough last weekend. Stan Lazaridis and Martin Latka returned after injury, and McCourt Forsell preferred to Neil Kilkenny, who dropped to the bench along with Alex Bruce. Just the one change for West Brom after defeat to Chelsea last Saturday. Steve Watson came into the defence in place of Neil Clement, who was named among the subs. Commentary on a pulsating game from Gary Birtles and Rob Hawthorne.
High noon in the second city, a game that will go a long way to determining the Premiership destinies of both these sides. A header from Martin Taylor that's cleared by Latka, avoiding an early moment of nervousness there against Kevin Campbell. It was a bit of a risky header, it has to be said, by Taylor.
I think that's where West Brom might target Birmingham, at centre-half. We know Cunningham's out, Upson's out, and they'll try and test Taylor and Latka. Both good in the air, but get them down the channels.
And they're doing that here with Paul Robinson. Now Jonathan Greening, from whom Brian Robson wants to see more belief and especially more goals. That's Inamoto to Ronnie Woolwork. Now Diamansi Camara. West Brom quickly getting into their stride and quickly getting about Birmingham here. Nothing comes of the cross though.
Well, he did everything right. He just went past Melky like he wasn't there. Camara. The final delivery was very poor.
West Brom really quick out of the blocks. Stan Lazaridis, who's had a groin problem, ruling him out of the last 6 matches, forced back today because Julian Gray turned an ankle in training this week. What a big day it will be for Curtis Davies, who might have been a Birmingham player had they gone that extra few £100,000 when he was available from Luton.
I bet they wish they had, because he is a player. Very confident.
It's Lazaridis here with a throw-in. There's Martin Taylor. Dunn's cross coming back.
Quite interesting to see Martin Taylor as high up the pitch as a centre-half there. Probably had the licence to go forward because Kevin Campbell's a lone striker. You don't need an extra man marking him at centre-half. 2 against 1's fine.
May just be a slight difference in approach from the two teams today. West Brom would be happy with the draw, no question about it. It's Pennant who's capable with free kicks, not able to target Forsell on that occasion.
Well, early in the game, you want to put pressure on your opposition from a set piece. Clearly wasn't the case there.
Well, amazingly, the furthest player forward then for West Brom was Paul Robinson, but Mario Melchiot got back with a header away, and Lazaridis gets it clear. Here's Junichi Inamoto. Now Albrechtsen. Of course, it was a fullback who earned West Brom their only away win in the Premiership this season. That was Albrechtsen when he came on at Wigan. Here's Camara. Woolwork had made the run. Came off the chest of Nicky Butt in the view of the referee, and he seemed to have a good view. He was looking directly at the Birmingham midfielder. Albrechtsen.
The referee in games like this is so important. You've got to take the sting out of the game and try and calm it down. Keep it on a level footing early in the game.
Curtis Davies, who scored 1 goal for West Brom since his arrival at the club, is in there looking for this. It's cleared from in front of him, though, by Martin Latka. Robinson having been last man forward earlier, last man back now. Campbell climbs, great chance for Watson. Latka got across though.
What a terrific leap by Kevin Campbell. And your picture there. Got a good strike on it, but a good block.
It's Greening with a corner. Watson's the target again. Heskey detailed to watch him. Greening looking to shrug off Lazaridis. It's Latka behind the header. It's good sustained pressure this from West Brom. Back in by Greening, and he's won a corner.
Impressive start by West Brom. You look at the setup with Campbell as a lone striker and you think, well, they've come to be maybe negative. Far from it.
Kozak hits it against Forsell. Greening couldn't quite keep it in. It was just too tight for him.
Birmingham have been taken a little bit by surprise. The enterprise West Brom have shown early in this game. And they're bound to be nervous. It's one of those occasions where you need to settle, win your first tackle, win your first header, settle yourself down. Not always that easy though.
I think there'll be a few sharp intakes of breath from Steve Bruce today. Even though West Brom may be happier with the point, they haven't given that impression from the way they've started the game. There's been a real verve about them.
I feel sorry for Steve Bruce. I mean, managers sometimes go on about injury problems, but his injury list has been horrendous. They're not a Chelsea, they're not a Man United, and that's why they've slipped down the table. But they've got the personnel out there who can turn things around.
Everyone except Mike Taylor now inside the West Brom half. As David Dunn looks to make some headway here against Albrechtsen. Mario Melchiot. Taylor had got forward. It's Emil Heskey if he can control it. And Dunn! Oh, unlucky! So unlucky.
Doesn't Emil Heskey do exceptionally well there? He's strong, he holds up the play. He's aware of what's around him, and David Dunn was around him. Taylor does well, lovely header. Good chest control, cushions it off. Good body shape, good strike, but just shaves the outside of the post. First sign of danger for West Brom.
Well, David Dunn has played fewer than half of Birmingham's games this season in an injury-hit campaign. It's a foul there by Butt on Robinson, which the referee might want to take further action on later.
Well, I didn't think there was any contact there. I thought that was a bit of a dive over the top. The referee's let it go. Birmingham have got to do is get good possession out to Dunn and to Pennant, the flair players. Heskey and Forsell thrive on service from wide areas.
Lazaridis won it from Woolwork. Skips away from Mikel Forsell. Here's Yunichi Inamoto.
I'm surprised at the pitch out there with all the rain we've had. I thought it'd be a little bit heavier. It looks quite dry, bobbly. Not conducive to good football. We saw it bobble away from Mikel Forsell there.
Well, the referee didn't show a card, but he did have another word with Nicky Butt about the earlier challenge on Paul Robinson. It's a day when you want players to have a bit of fire in their bellies, such has been the hype and the build-up to this game around these parts for many weeks. But on the other hand, it has to be controlled.
Of course it does. If you haven't got the fire in your belly for a game like this, at this magnitude, shouldn't be out there playing.
Here's Emil Heskey. Now Damian Johnson. Good, quick football from Birmingham. Now Dunn. Can he shake off Albrechtsen here? Woolwork's back helping out.
We see the threat of Dunn again. Get him early possession. He's one of these players who'll just destroy you if you let him run at you.
Robinson. Here's Jonathan Greening. Clearing header by Nicky Butt. Steve Bruce has given praise to Nicky Butt this week, saying he's going to be a big player in the remainder of Birmingham's season.
Well, he's been a big player all through his career, Nicky Butt. He's a shrewd signing. Players look up to people like him who've been winners.
Long ball from Watson, dealt with by Latka, and that's Melchiot away. Steve Watson's header, on by Greening. Now Butt. Back by Melchiot. Taylor going straight down the middle, looking for Heskey, which is a favoured Birmingham ploy. And he's got the touch there for David Dunn. Deflected for the corner.
Well, you back off David Dunn at your peril. If you allow him to get in and around the box, you're in trouble.
Well, Birmingham were a real threat from set pieces at the Hawthorns back in August. All of their goals were from headers. They showed West Brom to be vulnerable that day. What can they make of this? Pennant looks to provide, and the boot of Butt was raised.
I think he's entitled to go for that, Rob. The ball's not head height. It's a diving header from, and I think Nicky Butt's saying exactly that. Why can't I go for it? There, he's gone down. He's entitled to put the foot in and go for that. That's not a foul for me.
Yes, it's the fact it's a stooping header more from Watson that causes the boot to make contact with the defender.
That takes the pressure off. It was good delivery from Pennant. I think you're right about the height advantage Birmingham have over West Brom. I'm surprised that Clement's not playing and Watson's there at centre half. I think that'll encourage Birmingham.
Damien Johnson, he's a fiery customer,
to say the least. That's what you need in these encounters.
Here's Dunn. Great work from him. It's been a lively start from David Dunn. Here's Melchiot. Now Pennant. Is there going to be an end product from him this time? Inamoto clears the cross. Johnson! And it's blocked by Watson. And given away to Mario Melchiot by Robinson. But Albion recover.
There's some nervy moments, nervy players out there, understandably so. And after a bright start, West Brom are now under the cosh a little bit. Damien Johnson tried to pass that into the net instead of really striking it and taking a gamble. It goes in rosette, so what? At least you've had a go and tried to do the right thing.
Pennant's corner, Martin Taylor.
Again, we see the threat of Taylor. The delivery's good. You know he's going to cause a problem there. I think he should have headed that down rather than trying to head it for goal. Not defended very well. Comes out and he tries to pass it in here, side foot, instead of maybe striking. There's a shout of a handball there. I think that would have been unfair. Hit Watson full in the chest.
There's a sort of occasion that Steve Bruce is hoping is tailor-made for Damien Johnson, who makes his 150th appearance in the top flight today. Good recovery from Lazaridis. West Brom earn another corner. Lively fare in the opening 13 minutes. It's Camara's kick. It's a disappointing one.
I hate that when it doesn't beat the first man. The centre-halves have come all the way up for a corner, and they've got to run 70 yards back when it doesn't beat the first man.
Here's Greening, being pressed in that corner by Damien Johnson. Here's David Dunn. Melchiot lets it run. Here's Pennant. Melchiot. Pennant again. And it's a waste.
It is a little bit disappointing. He was slightly off balance. Again, it's just a little bit bobbly pitch out there. He's trying to do the right thing though. Steve Bruce won't mind that.
He owes his manager one, doesn't he, Jermaine Pennant? Brian Robson hoping that payback time doesn't happen today.
It's just a shame the state of Midlands football in general. No East Midlands sides in the Premier League, and 2 down at the bottom struggling. Villa hardly pulling up any trees.
Goal scoring that's been the problem for both of these. West Brom have managed just 5 on the road in the Premiership, extraordinarily. And no player on either side has reached double figures this season.
Well, you're spot on when both your leading scorers for Birmingham have got 4 league goals, and your top scorer for West Brom is sat on the bench in Carnu with 5. That shows you why they're both down at the bottom of the table. You know how precious goal scorers are.
Back by Albrechtsen, came a bit high for Kuszczak. He did with it what he could as Heskey was lurking. Nicky Butt. Here's David Dunn. Tennant. Swung in by Johnson, beyond Butt. Albrechtsen clears. And it's got past Martin Taylor. You see real nervousness on both sides at the moment. West Brom putting themselves under pressure with Albrechtsen's back pass. Martin Taylor glad to atone for that misjudged bounce. Here's Forsell. But Lazaridis. Forsell was driving into a decent area. 2 Albion defenders converged. Pennant. Johnson. But looking to free Johnson again, but Inamoto was in the way of the intended return.
There's a home side who are looking more likely to break the deadlock at the moment. I don't think Brian Robson will be very pleased with what he's seeing from Albrechtsen on the far side. He's backing off, he's allowing Dunn and Lazaridis too much time, too much space.
Here's Lazaridis. Forsell. But Taylor. Now Latka. This is Melchiot. Header away by Davis. Kozak. Here's a game of such significance that no one wants to be remembered as the player who cost their team in it.
Mistakes in these sort of derbies and these situations. Mistakes are made very easily because you're that uptight, you're that nervous, and you're trying to do the right thing and it doesn't come off. We've already seen a back pass, as you mentioned, from Albrechtsen that puts goalkeeper under intense pressure.
Now we've seen a free kick given away by the same player, Martin Albrechtsen.
I think they were saying that Dunn was backing in. Stood down very close to proceedings.
Pennant and Lazaridis over the free kick. It's Pennant who whips it in. Heskey's header!
Well, again, the delivery was terrific from Jermaine Pennant, put in the right slot, attacked well by Heskey, climbs well, hangs well, not at the target, but Steve Bruce again will be encouraged by what he's seeing out there.
Well, first half miss from Heskey at the Riverside cost Birmingham in their last game. The match they lost 1-0, but Heskey did find the target twice with headers at the Hawthorns back in August. And he's in again here, looking to make life uncomfortable for Thomas Kuszczak.
Goalkeepers hate that sort of ball coming back to them when it's bobbling all over the place. The concentration has got to be so good. And even if it is, sometimes it hits that bubble, as we've seen so many times. The goalkeeper's a little bit silly.
Albrechtsen. Getting him tight on Dunn there.
I'm sure the word's been passed from the bench for him to do exactly that on David Dunn, because he has been a tormentor in this first period of the first half.
Here's Mikkel Forsell. Kozak tries to dig it out. It's Dunn who's taken it up. He's having some joy winning free kicks at the moment, David Dunn.
And it's that man who's committing them at the moment on David Dunn. A lot of niggly fouls going on. It's breaking up the tempo. West Brom won't mind that at all.
Here's Pennant. On by Dunn. Lazaridis. First touch was a bit heavy.
Maybe he should have got his leg wrapped around it and tried to put it in the box, but again, Albrechtsen the target. Trying to work him over.
Brian Robson, former West Brom player, never actually lost this fixture in his playing days in the old blue and white stripes.
He didn't lose a great deal, to be fair, as a player. I was lucky enough to play on the same side at Manchester United with him, and what a fantastic pro he was.
Taylor. Latka. Davis header away. This is Johnson. Here's Dunn. Nicky Butt. A loose ball from him. Despite the praise he's had actually from his manager, Butt I think still has a few here at St Andrews to win over.
He's had problems with injury, suspension, a real number of games under his belt.
Here's Heskey looking to turn. Davis stayed close enough to him to get the touch.
He does hold up play well. He's difficult to get round when he's got the ball at his feet.
Davis. Nicky Butt. Heskey.
It's going to be more patient that from Emil Heskey. No rush.
Greening. Taylor.
You do not take chances on this pitch. Martin Taylor tried to control it. As a centre-half, just head it, kick it. Especially on a pitch like this.
It's Greening's ball across. Heskey. Butt. Albrechtsen. Now Lazaridis. One back by Woolwork. The St Andrews pitch, like so many others around the country at the moment, causing its own problems. Woolwork.
You see the problem there. Woolwork trying to put it wide, and when you're only playing one up front, you're relying on your midfield to join in, and sometimes difficult to make the ground up.
A nudge in the back of Heskey there by Steve Watson. Phil Dowd's just explaining that to Brian Robson.
There's an arm on the shoulder, pulls him back. Knows what a threat Emil Heskey is in the air.
Melchiot looks for Taylor and Latka, who were both in a similar area. It was Taylor's header. Campbell, first touch gets it past Laterizis and Taylor as well. Camera, taken away from him by Johnson.
And had he looked up, Jonathan Greening had made a fantastic run, was in a lot of space.
But Birmingham making one or two problems for themselves at the moment. They've got a free kick in the end. Their own fans there were wanting them to just get rid of it.
And again, a nudge in the back, clear foul. There's a lot of them so far. There's little pushes in the back, the niggles, just to stop the tempo of the home side.
Yes, after a fairly vibrant start, it's been a little disjointed since. Birmingham with 3 defeats in their last 4 Premiership matches, the exception the victory against Sunderland, where Emil Heskey got the winner. But that was Forsell held back. The referee has pointed for a corner, but did Davis have a piece of Forsell there?
Well, it certainly seemed that way. Although he's 10 yards away from it, maybe on the blind side. He's not happy with somebody's comment.
Melchiot, who's been showed a yellow card.
Well, exactly that, for having a go at the referee. I think he's got a point to a certain extent to have a go and ask why it wasn't a penalty.
Well, he is the captain for the day, Mario Melchiot. And the captain is normally the man who's entitled to speak to the referee rather than having the crowd scenes that we saw at the Hawthorns last week. But Melchiot has clearly taken that responsibility a little too far in Phil Dowd's judgment.
Well, here we go, and Davies has clearly got a piece of Mikel Forsell there. He's holding him back, he's stopping him progressing. And I think he's unlucky not to get, unlucky to get a yellow card, unlucky not to get a pen.
Pennant's corner. Latka making the challenge for it. Was he caught as well?
He goes across his man there. I think he just got a touch and see here, just gets in front. I think there's a genuine attempt to clear the ball there. Certainly caught him, as we've seen here. Inamoto tries to clear it, but that would have been harsh. The one that wouldn't have been was, I think, the Forsell one. Davies had a big piece of his shirt, stopped him progressing.
Yes, the Davis challenge on Forsell looked blatant, whereas with Inamoto it looked as though he had eyes only for the ball.
You look back at the end of seasons, if it's not gone your way at decisions like that, that can change your current situation around.
Really just adds to the sense of injustice, I suppose, the yellow card that Mario Melchiot has picked up, which who knows may prove crucial later on.
And it's a yellow card that comes after a lot of niggly fouls from a couple of the West Brom players, 2 or 3 by Woolwork and Camera that have gone unpunished. No yellow cards there. Mario Melchiot feels he's got a right to say to the referee, well, I thought it was a pen, gets a yellow card for his troubles.
On by Heskey. Here's Forsell.
West Brom have done the job so far. They've come with a game plan, we can see that. And the 5 in midfield protecting the back 4. They're trying to break whenever they can.
Here's Lazaridis. Looking for Heskey.
Well, he does the really hard thing there. There's a ball coming towards him at pace and kills it dead and just couldn't get the swivel right. Lazaridis does well. Instant touch there, tries to swivel and just doesn't get enough on it at all. Just takes it a little bit early, just gets it wrong.
Heskey coming back from an offside position here now, but Forsell looks to get the better of Steve Watson. Watson did well. Robinson looking to unleash Camera. It's Martin Taylor away. Albrechtsen. Woolwork. Yanichi Inamoto. Johnson getting in tight. And here's Dunn. Heskey. bulldozing his way past Curtis Davis. Took it too far.
Well, it's unfortunate there, Heskey. He's trying to do the right thing again. Take his man wide. He's done the hard work again, then the touch just takes it away from him. And just slides out. Nothing wrong with the idea. It's just the final little ball he needs into the box to let him down.
Albrechtsen. Diamansi Camara. That's Nicky Butt. Melchiot. Heskey's helped it back. That's Forsell. Now done. Johnson. Oh, he's given it away to Ronnie Woolwork. And West Brom look to spring forward with Diamansi Camara. Greening. He shrugged off Latka. 3 in the middle. Oh! How could he miss? Diamansi Camara puts his head in the grass and wonders how.
Well, that's the miss of the season, without a doubt. That was fantastic build-up play. Greening does brilliant here. Goes past his man, looks up, got a couple of options. Campbell's run's good, and how does he not hit the target? No pressure on him at all, and that is gilt-edged to say the least. He'll be watching this again and again and wondering. It's not a shade past the post, it's a massive miss. Gets it totally wrong. Maybe thinks it's too easy for him to put it into empty net, but it could come back to haunt him.
Well, maybe not quite akin to Kanu's miss against Middlesbrough in Brian Robson's first game in charge, but in terms of significance, a big miss. Now can he make up for it, Camara? No, he can't. Taylor gets back with him to put him off.
Well, I like to see that. He's got the confidence to go in again at Birmingham. His manager will be pleased with that. Not the miss, but the fact that he's gone in there where it hurts again, prepared to miss again. That's what strikers have to do. You miss one, you have to have the bravery to go back in again and maybe miss again. Maybe you get lucky, you get a goal.
Well, often 10 Starbys like this are remembered for defensive mistakes, but passing up chances in front of goal can be just as crucial. That's what Camara has done. Could be even more costly now. Well, Kuszczak Klein dropped it, but then got fouled anyway.
That is good goalkeeping by Kuszczak.
An awkward landing. The referee looks concerned.
It's awful when you get hit in mid-air. I know as a striker, when you're in the air and you get hit, you've got no idea how you're going to land. You get twisted in mid-air. That's exactly what happened to Kuszczak.
Concern with his goalkeeper following concern over a big miss in this match from Diamansi Camara.
I was just looking for the ripple of the back of the net and the ball nestling there when it came across to him, but adrenaline got the better of him. Greening does fantastic here. But look at, he looks up, Kevin Campbell's taken the defender to the near post. Look at that. You've just got to take your time and just slot it in the bottom corner. And here he gets in again, he's brave. Does he slice it off the outside of his foot? He does. Good defending there from Taylor, put him off. But he gets in between the defenders very well. That's a concern. His first touch is good. The pressure from Taylor does put him off. But I'd be happy as a coach if I'd seen him getting in there again.
And he scored 1 in the Premiership this season, Diamansi Camara. Although it is a Premiership season that was interrupted by his duty with Senegal at the African Cup of Nations. Certainly not hiding, still getting plenty of involvement, Diamansi Camara.
Well, that'll be the let-off that saves Birmingham's season. That's how dangerous West Brom can be. They are playing Campbell as a lone striker, but they have the talent in midfield to break forward and get beyond Birmingham's back four.
Here's Melchior. Taylor. Watson.
The one for me who looks out of place at the moment in the midfield of West Brom is Kozak. He's hardly been involved. He seems to be chasing shadows at the moment. If he does get involved and gets forward to join in, we've seen the problems they can create for Birmingham.
Here's Robinson. Won by Damien Johnson. Davis stretching. Woolwork. Pennant intervenes. Melchior. Tweaked something at the back of the knee, hasn't he, Robinson?
He's in pain there. He's signalled to the bench already, I think. He's not too clever. Melchior does well. Does the right thing. A little nudge in the back, then a foul. And oh, look at that. His right leg goes underneath him and twists it. That's not very good at all. Gets a foot in and look at that. Just right off balance. Just bends it and tweaks the back of it. But it trapped underneath him. Couldn't do anything about it.
Well, he has got a replacement on the bench with Neil Clement. But Paul Robinson is exactly the sort of character that you need in this type of game, this type of situation.
Without a doubt, and he started the game well, and you don't want to see him finish it at this moment. West Brom, they haven't done a lot wrong. They've been a bit under pressure. They've coped most of the time with it.
Here's Dunn. West Brom still down to 10 men at the moment. Robinson is preparing to hobble back on, but it will be a hobble.
Well, if he does hobble back on, if I was Steve Bruce, I'd say to Jermaine Pennant, get at him.
Here's Dunn. Cleared by Inamoto. They do want to bring Robinson back on, and he is there now, but I bet that Jermaine Pennant will be asking one or two searching questions of him for the next 9 minutes up to half-time. Lazaridis comfortably past Camera. Can he get away from Albrechtsen?
Well, that's terrific from Lazaridis. Good block in the end by Davis, but again it's Albrechtsen that is getting taken to the cleaners. You see Lazaridis' strength, power, desire, off balance there, but still manages to wrap his leg round and create the defensive clearance from Davis.
Pennant with the corner. Header away by Albrechtsen, that's Johnson. Heskey takes a swing at it. Away by Greening. Johnson. Cleared by Robinson, he's pulled up again there. And Neil Clement is going to come on, they can't continue with this situation. They're looking for an indication there from Robinson, and having got a nod in the direction of the bench, they're just holding fire again on that substitution now. They were all set to make it.
Well, I think at the moment, if I was Steve Bruce, I'd maybe swap Jermaine Pennant and David Dunn round. Get David Dunn to have a go at him. I'd like to see that anyway, just to make West Brom think a little bit. Let Jermaine Pennant have a go at Albrechtsen on the other side.
On by Campbell, here's Kozak. Now Camera. Challenged by Lazaridis. And West Brom win the throw. Taylor. Woolworks header, camera through, Campbell! Oh, he's hit the post! How on earth did he miss that as well? That is two glorious opportunities that West Bromwich Albion have just clean squandered.
Squandered's not the word. It's unbelievable what I'm seeing out there. Kevin Campbell did everything right. He looked about a hint of offside. Woolwork, terrific header down there. Campbell looked at me, maybe he was level, but he seemed to do everything right. It's hit the outside of the post, the follow-up, blocked on the line. But you have to say, lovely little ball there, reversed into his path. Good first touch. Sends Taylor the wrong way. Just doesn't hit the target. Base of the post, and the follow-up we see here keeps it on the floor, but what a good defensive position there to clear it off the line. How many chances do they want, Rob?
Well, do you ever get the feeling it might not be West Brom's day?
You certainly do, and Brian Robson must be down there thinking, what have we got to do to put this game to sleep?
Extraordinary. His team living on their nerves and living on with a little bit of good fortune. Kozak's kick dealt with in the end by Heskey. Inamoto misjudged the bounce, but Pennington Forsell couldn't make the most of it.
Inamoto got away with it there.
Greening. Here's Inamoto. It's Greening's ball in, past Latka, Camera takes a swipe. Woolwork. Camera's gone down in the box, just as he did last week against Chelsea. Greening. Blocked by Melchior. Away by Dunn. Now Pennant. Taken out of his stride by Robinson, and it's going to be a booking to add to Robinson's woes. He's still struggling with the injury, and that may have played a part.
I think it certainly did. You don't want Jermaine Pennant running at you when you've got a slight injury problem. The referee had no option but to book him there.
One way or another, I'll be surprised if Robinson sees out this match.
Well, again, Clement's got his tracksuit top off and waiting to come on.
Well, you can understand his desire to want to stay on there. He is a player who has played through many an injury before, Paul Robinson, a great character. But he's had to give in to the injury this time, and Neil Clement is on.
Personifies the sort of player he is, the way he went down with the injury. Here we see the booking, glides past so effortlessly, and there he's just a clip. He's got to put him down in the centre circle, and he knows he's going to get yellow for that.
A yellow card and an admission that the game was up all in one from Paul Robinson. Melchior's kick, Heskey helps it on, and Clement's first act is to just usher that one back.
If I was Steve Bruce there, I'd be not livid but disappointed, because you know Emile Heskey is going to win his fair share, and why don't you gamble off him? Nicky Butt did, but why didn't anybody else?
It's a huge clearance.
Well, they may be only playing one up, but the two chances they've had, West Brom should have killed this game off.
Clement. Lazaridis.
He tried his best to divert the rebound off the post into the net, and good clearance off the line.
It's Melchior's ball in. Kozak. Melchior. Lazaridis. Dunn. Great burst from Lazaridis. Can he pull it back here? Dunn.
Well, why didn't Lazaridis just play it across the face of the goal when he had the chance? Heskey had made his run in there. He's left it too late. He's laid it back in the end, and it's leaning back from Dunn, which has made it go high and wide. But look at this. don't look, just put it in the danger area. And he just leaves it too late. Does all right in the end, but it's still a tight opportunity for Dunn. Strikers hate that when they've made the run at the near post and the ball's not delivered.
Campbell's header. Camera looking to get in around the back of Lazaridis, who's defended well.
He has defended well. Read the danger there. Campbell, we know, is excellent in the air. West Brom are doing that well. They're getting bodies round Kevin Campbell when he's winning things.
Camera's kick. Kozak. Now Junichi Inamoto. Kozak's ball in. Lazaridis behind it. What a follow-up from Watson.
Oh, that is a terrific strike, and Taylor had to be on his mettle there. Didn't expect that. And that came at him very fast. Look at this for technique. Takes it early. Brilliant technique, and that's awareness from Taylor.
2 added minutes in the first half. Albrechtson's given it away to Nicky Butt. Ball from Lazaridis. Oh! Woolwork and Kuszczak got themselves in a right old pickle there.
Well, Kuszczak should have come. He stuttered, then he came. Didn't really give Woolwork anything to pass back to in the end. This is where he should come. Woolwork thinks he's coming, he doesn't. What does he do? Luckily they get the bounce off Butt. Well, Birmingham have had some half chances in this game, but West Brom, you don't get 2 better chances than they've had in this first half.
Greening. Neil Clement. Melchior misjudged the bounce and then had to get in pretty tight on Greening to repair the damage.
Well, that man will be wondering how his team's not in front. Jonathan Greening created the best opening of the match for his team.
Here's Watson. Martin Taylor. That's Albrechtsson. Latka.
There's the hamstring gone there from Jermaine Pennant. Terrific challenge by Clement. Nothing wrong with that. I think he just caught him on the follow-through. Maybe the knee's gone into the back of his hamstring.
Well, the half-time whistle goes with Jermaine Pennant, who's played in every Premiership game this season for Birmingham, still on the deck and getting treated, which is a concern for Steve Bruce to add to those of this first half in which West Brom have had the clearest opportunities. We're still scratching our heads wondering how Diamansi Camara managed to miss a gilt-edged chance. He shakes his head. He actually set up another opportunity for Kevin Campbell. Again, it looked a great opening for Brian Robson's side, and yet somehow he contrived to hit the post. They're wondering how it is still 0-0. But it is scoreless at the break. Birmingham 0, West Bromwich Albion 0. Well, Birmingham rode their luck in the first half, no question about it. But now can they make the most of the good fortune that they enjoyed? Steve Bruce is hoping so as he makes a belated return.
I just wonder how long Jermaine Pennant will last. He looked ill at ease in the break at half-time. Almost limped off back into the dressing room before coming out. He's still rubbing his leg now.
Here's Kevin Campbell. Now Diamansi Camara. Ronnie Woolwork. Kozak. And he beat Johnson. He's got it past Dunn as well. Campbell. Cleared by Butt in the end. Clement. Inamoto. Camera rides challenges of Johnson and Butt, looks for Greening and finds him. Clement, Camera's header.
Similar start to the first half. West Brom in the second half. Bright taking the game to Birmingham. Clement, lovely left foot. Camera just couldn't direct it goalwards. Wasn't quite aware of where he was in the box.
Heskey's header. Forsell looking to help it out to Pennant. Cleared by Curtis Davis.
Brian Robson would have been delighted had one of those two chances gone in. The longer it stays like this, the happier he'll be, but if he does need to bring on somebody, he's got a lot on the bench. He's got Ellington, he's got Carnu, very strong.
West Brom have lost their last 3 Premiership matches. The decision goes against Kevin Campbell, even though the arms of Latka seem to be all round him.
Seemed to stand his ground and invited the challenge over the top of him, saying exactly that to Mr. Dowd.
Heskey's flick on, now can Forsell get away from Curtis Davis? Davis dives in, and the referee points to the penalty spot this time. He got away with one in the first half, but not this time. Davis dives in, reacts with fury, but Phil Dowd right on the spot points to it.
Absolutely livid, Curtis Davis. I think Davis thought there might have been a foul by Forsell before the actual challenge. Well, Mr. Dowd got this one right. Here I think there's a foul. I think there's a push in the back of Curtis Davis there. He catches him round there and then catches him again. Definitely 2 contacts. But was there a foul in the first place from Forsell?
A huge moment in Birmingham City's season. Their Premiership survival could revolve around this penalty. Mikael Forsell has to score it.
Leapfrog West Brom in the survival race.
Well, it wasn't the cleanest hit penalty you'll ever see in a Premiership match, doesn't matter. Nestled in the back of the net. Massive pressure on him here. Bobbles a bit, close to the keeper, but he's gone the wrong way, Kuszak. Very, very close, down the centre. Intense pressure. All you have to do is nestle it in the back of that net. It's exactly what he's done. Look at the delight on those Birmingham faces. But is he a bit fortunate?
Well, penalties have been few and far between for Birmingham City in the Premiership. Forsell scored their only other one, and that was in the handsome victory they managed against their other relegation rivals, Portsmouth. Forsell, who's had such bad luck with injuries since he made the move permanent to St Andrews, was the man for the moment there. But did Phil Dowd get the decision right?
Well, there was definitely a double contact. Davis caught Forsell round the waist with his first challenge, and as he came down, there was definitely contact again, but I'm just convinced there was a push on Curtis Davis by Forsell in the first place.
Well, the pressure was intense last week. Brian Robson trying to get a message across to Ronnie Woolwork as his team now have to lift themselves from this desperate setback. Well, West Brom literally have paid the penalty now for those missed first half chances. Phil Dowd, incidentally, has awarded more penalties than any other Premiership referee this season. The one that he awarded for the challenge on Forsell that was scored by Forsell, the 8th. And it's a decision but will, I'm sure, draw questions for Forsell's initial push.
A lot of people may see that incident, the first one, the contact with Davis from Forsell, and say, well, might have been an accidental coming together, but it clearly knocked Davis off balance and gave the impetus to Forsell, who then capitalised on that.
Heskey goes for the clearance, met by Davis. It's Clement. Nicky Butt. Watson. Latka's header. Pennant. Johnson. Lazaridis. Woolworks header, and the shove was by Damien Johnson. Clement. He's found Inamoto. Greening. Campbell looking to get in. Oh, Taylor hacked at it, and it's cleared in the end by Lazaridis. Vital defending again from the Australian.
That's why he's a top pro. You expect the unexpected. The ball is terrific from Greening, difficult to deal with. He slashes at it. Look at the awareness of Lazaridis. Could have been caught flat on his heels, certainly wasn't.
Well, West Brom showed great powers of recovery last season with the Great Escape, and they'll need to summon up that sort of strength again here now. But the corner's cleared to Pennant, who's the furthest player forward for Birmingham. Forsell's managed to get ahead of him, and Pennant's been fouled.
Good play by Pennant. Took the pressure off his team there, gets the free kick. Knew there was going to be contact there, held on well, did the job.
Well, they may seek to protect Jermaine Pennant here. They've just called Muzzy Is It back from his warm-up, and I wonder if it might be Pennant's welfare that they're thinking of now that they've established this lead. Woolwork sliced it, cleared by Clement, then by Greening. That's Nicky Butt, done. Forsell, away by Davis, stuck to his guns that time and didn't let Forsell get away. Inamoto gets it clear. Camera. Chance for Kozak. He's delayed it but pulled it back for Inamoto. Straight at the goalkeeper, but good reaction all the same.
It was good reaction from Taylor. I thought Kozak was going to take it himself. He had the opportunity. Good reverse ball there. I thought he was going to hit it there. Stays on his feet, cushions it back, good strike, and that was a good reaction because that came past one of his own defenders. He's blinded here, but look at the reaction. That's top-class goalkeeping.
It's Greening's ball in, and the header is powered wide. It's been a day of missed chances for Diamansi Camara and for West Bromwich Albion.
So when we see this again, it might be a free header and had he hit the target.
8 goals is the least managed away from home in a Premiership season by any team. Brian Robson's Middlesbrough, one of the teams to rack up that meagre haul. And Southampton, 3 years later in 1999, the others. Muzzy Is It is going to come on, so they aren't going to take any risks with Jermaine Pennant staying in the game.
It's a bit of a blow for Steve Bruce because he has got good natural widths on both flanks and that nullifies it a little bit, but Muzzy Is It, terrific player, great pro. Brian Robson doesn't have to panic yet, but I'm sure he'll be thinking Carnu, Ellington at some point in the next 10 or 15 minutes if nothing happens for them.
here comes the change. Jermaine Pennant has played in every game for Birmingham this season, but that hamstring injury right at the end of the first half ends his involvement here today and means a return to first-team action for Muzzy Izzet, who was substituted with a calf injury against Sunderland, but now makes his first-team return.
I don't think he's 100% fit, Muzzy Izzet, but 75% is still good from that player.
Izzet's first involvement was to head clear the throw-in, which is booted clear by Martin Albrechtsen.
Looking at Pennant's injury, I'm not sure whether it's a hamstring or the side of his thigh. I think if it had been hamstring, maybe he wouldn't have been able to continue, but certainly big contact from a knee that could just hopefully be a dead leg, and he's not going to suffer too much out of the game.
Engaging in one or two words with Brian Robson.
I'm sure they're not engaging words back from Brian Robson at all. Well, that man must wonder why he didn't put that one in, Kevin Campbell.
There's Butt for Sal. His boot raised. Here's Albrechtsen. Now Davis. Clement. Oh, struck against Heskey, but he got away with it.
How nervous do Birmingham come now? The longer the game goes on, there's just this one goal in it. I know how important it is.
Well, they've been tight here defensively lately. They've kept 3 clean sheets in their last 4 Premiership matches at home, where they have generally enjoyed the best of their improvement. Arsenal the only team to beat them in the last 7 matches at this ground.
How have they still got a clean sheet today?
Here's Forsell. And Izzet looks to pick up the pieces. West Brom do enough. Done. Izzet. Forsell, the goal scorer for Birmingham. Nicky Butt. Done. Taken away from him by Ronnie Woolworth.
David Dunn pulled up now.
Dunn has played a full 90 minutes only once in the Premiership this season. And having personal fitness sessions to look to steer him through another full 90 minutes, which he said he's now feeling ready to do.
David Dunn's having words with Steve Bruce.
Here's Camera. Checked by Lazaridis.
I think Birmingham maybe claiming he was a bit of offside here. He's going to play the ball. There's a clip just behind his ankle.
Clement over the kick. A real disappointment. And he's given it away and he's put his team under real pressure here, Neil Clement. It's Johnson bursting forward. Dunn frees Johnson. Forsell's in the middle. West Brom had enough numbers back to Neil Clement's huge relief.
That was disappointing from Birmingham, because when Damian Johnson's got in there, I looked in the penalty box, there's only Forsell there. He had no options but to do what he did.
Davis. Cleared by Woolwork. There's Butt. Clement. Heskey. Muzzy is it, Butt and Dunn in the same territory. Dunn has done well to get through. Forsell leaves Heskey with a retrieval job. Now Johnson. Clement drove into him and the momentum carried him into Johnson and the official.
Well, the corner flag's gone, the linesman's gone. He took the whole lot there. He's having a little bit of a giggle there, the assistant. Need a new corner flag on. Just before all that hilarity there was a good chance for Birmingham. David Dunn, here we see what happens. Major collision, major impact. Poor assistant gets all of it. Corner flag goes as well.
Johnson waved away the clement hand of friendship that had a few casualties there. The corner flag looks beyond repair. And I think the hiatus is because that stadium officials are looking for a replacement.
Is the game beyond repair for Birmingham? For West Brom, sorry. There's a good passage of play before that happened though. Forsell did really well in the box. David Dunn did well initially. And Dunn should have had the ball back into his path. He'd have been one-on-one with the keeper and Forsell overdid it.
Well, this isn't really helping either side, is it? Steve Bruce, I'm sure, can spend these few minutes reflecting on what's happened. The corner flag has been sent for and found. All this, of course, will add to the stoppage time at the end, which will ratchet up the tension if it's still as delicately balanced as this.
The first time a corner flag could have played a part in a local derby as big as this. Now he's got to put the flag on the end of it.
Well, all the repairs carried out. Just to add to the general farce. Take two on the runner. Clearing header by Ronnie Woolwork. Back out to Muzzy, is it? Forsell. And Albrechtsen gets it away. Lazaridis piling in.
Yeah, it's been terrific, Stan Lazaridis. Put a foot wrong. Gives the next option going forward as well.
Quite a lot of dialogue going on between David Dunn and Steve Bruce. Well, that's out of concern for his welfare, a possible injury. Or whether Dunn isn't doing a job he's been detailed to do, I'm not quite sure. Here's Johnson. Looking for Heskey. And Watson hit it against Emil Heskey, recovers and flashes it invitingly across the face. Here's Dunn. Danger not over here for West Brom. Forsell goes for it. It'll land here for Nicky Butt. It's Damian Johnson. Something and nothing really from Johnson and cleared by Greening.
Disappointing end to a promising build-up there from Birmingham.
Well, Telephone calls between the two old great friends have dried up in recent weeks. Steve Bruce and Brian Robson will resume social contact after this, but the way things are, their teams will be level on points and Birmingham will have a slight edge with goal difference.
Just felt it wasn't going to be West Brom's day with those two chances went begging in the first half. And contentious penalty makes it even worse.
Lazaridis with a kick. Taylor climbs. Heskey!
And that's the danger of Taylor. You hit it in the right area, he'll put it down for your strikers to attack, which he does here. Heskey gambles, gets a little bit of space, tries the overhead, doesn't get anything on it.
Well, the West Brom strikers have misfired, so it is time for change. Junichi Inamoto is off and Kanu is on, and Nathan Ellington is coming on in place of Kevin Campbell.
No surprise to see those two coming on. You've got the pace and power of Ellington, the trickery of Kanu.
Kanu has slotted in just behind Ellington and Camera in this reshaped West Brom strike force that they hope will bring them a goal. Albrechtsen, who got them their winning goal at Wigan, had got forward again there. Little break here for Ronnie Woolwork. Here's Heskey. Is it? Lazaridis. Forsell, Heskey. Jonathan Greening has been giving Phil Dowd earache. Here's Dunn. Played by Davis, that's Taylor. Nicky Butt.
There's a big rethink maybe from Steve Bruce now, a whole different bunch of problems. Camera gone up front with Ellington, Kanu playing just in the hole behind. He's very flexible. Kanu can swap with either of the two up front.
Melchiot up and under, put his own team under pressure. Ellington's won it. Camera. And it's there! They've got their equaliser. Nathan Ellington only just on. Rescues it for West Brom.
Well, there's the man who caused all the problems. It wasn't created out of flair and magic. It was created by a poor defensive clearance by Melchiot. He's booted it 60 foot up in the air, back towards his own goal. He's then not defended it again. And Kanu does well here, lays it back into the path. And what a good finish, crisp, neat. The substitute comes on, they combine together and Ellington drills it hard and low. And you cannot recover from a mistake like Melchiot's. Concentration, keeps it down. No chance for Taylor in the Birmingham goal. That's poor defending.
Mario Melchiot, the captain for the day, knows that. But Nathan Ellington on the field, a matter of minutes, and he scores his first goal since the turn of the year. He'd gone 16 games without one. It was a decent strike, and it's as you were in the game and in the Premiership.
I did say it's a whole different bunch of problems now with the appearance of Kanu and Ellington, so it proved to be. But all created by their own inability to defend and the captain Melchiot.
Looking here for Neil Clement. Watson meets the free kick. That's back in by Dunn. Taylor.
Now, Taylor's a centre-half. You don't chest it down as a centre-half, you just help it back on into the box.
Well, Birmingham could have had a problem there. Had Ellington been able to keep that in.
It's difficult for defenders. Here we see Carnu lay it back. What a terrific finish. Crisp, low, corner of the net. And slightly delighted Brian Robson on the touchline.
Always nice for a manager when a substitution works, the double substitution work there. Carnu provider, Ellington finisher.
Live and die by the substitutions. But you know you've got two quality players coming on there. And as a back four, they've been used to just marking Kevin Campbell and getting midfielders coming on to them.
Well, Ronnie Woolwork. There's a naughty challenge on David Dunn. All the members of the Birmingham bench up in arms about that. And Woolwork, who was cautioned for one a week ago on Makaleli, is going to see yellow again here.
I think he realises that that was inevitable there, Ronnie Woolwork. It's in an area that's not really hurting West Brom either, halfway line.
Well, it's a booking that will hurt West Brom, because that match, or that booking, rules him out of 2 matches against his old club Manchester United and against Spurs.
It was late, it was a bad one, and there was no need for it. He just closed down in a situation like that.
Taylor's header. Carnu away. Here's Albrechtsen. It's a good burst on Latkes, hacked him down. That's got the referee. Well, the ref seemed to be reaching for his pocket then, as though he was going to book him, and then decided it wasn't even a free kick. But here's Camera. Struck against the body of Walls. Camera's won it back again, and Melchiot, there in front of Ellington, kept his concentration.
Oh, what are Birmingham doing at the back? Doing everything to give the game to West Brom at the moment.
Woolwork on a yellow card, has to be careful. Here's Albrechtsen. It's Davis. Heskey. Woolwork tussles with Nicky Butt. 2 former Manchester United players. There'll be no United reunion for Woolwork after Phil Dowd's yellow card to him today. The referee has come over to the West Brom bench now to make a point.
It's Rob Styles in the West Brom box. Something's happening there and he's trying to sort it out.
It's Nigel Pearson who's being ushered away. Brian Robson's assistant. Looks as though he's been sent from the dugout area. He's still standing in the tunnel, though police and stewards are ushering Nigel Pearson away. He's clearly said something that's offended the officials. Lazaridis. Steve Bruce still has his full complement of coaching staff. Eric Black there alongside him. It's unusual, isn't it, to see a number 2 removed. Usually it's the managers themselves. The fury that was Brian Robson's last week is his assistant's this. Here's Melchiot.
So we're getting a little bit heated out there. It was under control for most of the match, but since the goals have gone in and mistakes are being made, and he falls over the Kozak trailing leg there. Melchiot needs to atone for that horrendous error for the goal.
Here's Muzzy, is it, with the free kick? But in the thick of the crowd.
It's a good delivery from Muzzy, is it? And that's all you can ask, the ball to be attacked.
Well, the substitutions work for West Brom. And Steve Bruce wants to make one now, and this is an interesting one. DJ Campbell still pinching himself at the opportunity of Premiership football. Is going to take the place of the goal scorer, Mikel Forssell. Campbell making his 5th appearance, all from the bench. What an occasion this would be to score his first goal for the club.
Better believe it as well. He is direct, he is a bag of tricks. He's an unknown quantity to most people in the Premiership.
It just shows how determined Steve Bruce is not to settle for a draw here. So a new front-line combination of Heskey and Campbell. But can Birmingham furnish them with the service they need to get their noses back in front? Campbell, blue-booted, challenged there by Davis. And here's Kanu. The arrival of Kanu and Ellington had an instant impact for West Brom, but the flag's up here against Greening.
Disappointed Greening there. I don't think he was offside when the ball was played. The flag goes up late.
David Sullivan, Blues owner. Birmingham's chairman David Gold estimated that defeat in this match and consequent relegation could cost them in the region of £25 million. Balance sheets very often how club directors think in terms of these matches.
He started brightly, Campbell. Do not want to give free kicks in that sort of an area. You just stay on your feet, just hold David Dunn back, just force him away. See, he gets on the wrong side of him, Albrechtsen there. Just stay behind him, he's got on one side of him and allowed him to turn. Basic defending.
Well, they were vulnerable from free kicks in the match at the Hawthorns West Brom. And with Tiny Taylor forward, who's been growing as a threat in these situations, there could be problems here for the visitors. Is it delayed from taking the kick? The Wall move further back. He delivers now, and it's cleared by Woolwork. Back out to Stan Lazaridis. Taylor reaches for it, it breaks to Johnson.
That's a good opportunity. It's come out to him, but you can find he's leaning back as he hits it. Stretching a little bit for him, Lazaridis. It's a decent ball in. Knocked out, and he just reaches for it a little bit there.
One substitution left to use for Birmingham, and they're going to use it. Neil Kilkenny is coming on. Again, David Dunn has not completed a full 90 minutes, getting a bit closer, got to 80.
Well, he did seem to pick up a little bit of a knock earlier.
Damian Johnson's now come out to his unfavoured left side. Header on by Ellington. Cleared by Taylor. Now Campbell. Muzzies it through the middle. And driven against Albrechtsen.
Yeah, you can see why he could become a hero here, DJ Campbell. He's got a naivety about him, brashness about him.
Kilkenny with the corner.
just seen there, the ball's gone in the air in the box and not a Birmingham player has gone to challenge the second ball. Allowed West Brom to clear it comfortably.
Lazaridis. Here's Heskey. Now Kilkenny.
That's a poor ball from Emil Heskey. He's put him so wide and didn't need to.
Challenge for it, but Davis won the challenge.
Quite resolute this second half, West Brom in defence. Watson's done well. Just wondered how he'd cope in that central area. He hasn't done bad at all.
Clement. Wall work. Nothing was going to be decided conclusively today anyway, but a draw will just leave the feeling that there could be many twists and turns yet in the battle between these two rivals in their remaining matches.
I think both teams, both clubs regarded this as the key match, though, with all the difficult fixtures they've both got coming up, playing against the top teams. Obviously a draw will suit West Brom better.
Birmingham do have that game in hand, a rearranged match here against Bolton. Kilkenny looking for Heskey. It's Watson who meets it with a header. Back to Watson by Clement. Melchior. Kilkenny. Neil Kilkenny once again. Melchior. Clement's challenge. Looks to launch one here for Diamansi Camara. Taylor aware of him. Finds Latka. Lazaridis. Looking for Heskey. Kuszczak came right to the brink.
And the assistant looked straight at him. He was right in line with that decision. It's like stayed down, rightly so.
Here's Martin Taylor. It's Watson. Ellington. Now Kanu. Kilkenny. Johnson. Lazaridis. Bounced over Butt's head, and Campbell had expected Nicky Butt to be onto that.
It just tells you something about the pitch. Despite the weather we've had, it's still very firm. It's the highest bounce we've seen in the game. Took it well away from Butt and Campbell.
Cross from Kilkenny, Butt climbs, it comes off Watson's head. Heskey looks to get there. Is he pulling back at the defender anyway?
Could he have done better there, Emil Heskey? Not giving it away. It's come out in the air and he's pulled down on Davis. He didn't need to do that. If he'd have challenged honestly, it would have caused more of a problem.
5 minutes plus stoppage time to go. West Brom looking to strike a killer blow, and Ellington looking to do that. Oh! Well, that really did move, and Taylor in the end did well with it.
Well, I don't think he expected that. I don't think many people did. I think there was nothing on. I'm going to have a go here. It's dipped and it's bounced right in front of him. Look at that reaction in the end.
There's a couple of quick-fire reactions from Mike Taylor we've seen in this game that really have saved the day for Birmingham so far. Ellington was just getting ready to line that one up when Martin Taylor took it away. It's Clement. Greening. Again, Ellington was imagining it coming all the way to him.
Taylor did well again there defensively. He's done well in the last couple of minutes. See Albertson coming into the back there. Clear push, referee right in the spot. It's quite bizarre, that strike by Ellington. I wonder if Taylor was expecting a cross and he just lost concentration for a minute.
Straight down the middle, Davis. Here's Kozak. Albrechtsen. Lazaridis with a header back, falls short for Taylor. Camera, who won it, set away here by Nathan Ellington, but not too much on for him in the middle at the moment. On a throw though.
Did well, Taylor, stayed on his feet. If he'd dived in, could have earned himself a yellow card.
Camera, corner.
Ruined that, but he's stuck to his task. Camera, to be fair, looked lively in a more central role, second half up front.
Well, it's turning into a strong finish to the game, this, from West Brom. It's Greening's corner. Watson was up there, Heskey in there ahead of him. Back across by Woolwork. Tipped away to Ellington. Across the face, it just keeps flashing across. And in the end, Kozak gets it behind, but there's another corner.
Birmingham trying their best to give the game back to West Brom. Comes off the crossbar, bit of fortune, and Ellington's just put too much on it. And then the block comes from Melchiot. Still the pressure on Birmingham.
Nicky Butt, we gather, has picked up a yellow card for a dissent. Kozak takes the corner, Ellington's in there again, and so too was Camera, back across by Woolwork, and Birmingham really are living on their nerves here.
Well, they're doing well to keep West Brom out here. Again, the delivery is terrific from the corner. Taylor can't get out, blocked by Carnu, and there's good defending all around there from Birmingham. The desire to keep the ball out is terrific.
Greening keeps asking searching questions. So far, Birmingham have come up with the answers. Beyond Ellington, Heskey this time manages to get it out of the area. Stoppage time will be interesting after the hold-up for the corner flag and the various substitutions we've had.
I've got to think it's going to be around at least 5 minutes.
Rob Stars has just been looking for some indication from the man in the middle, Phil Dowd, before going back to put the number up on the board. Woolwork looks to set Ellington on his way. Aim was to steer it through for Kozak. And 4 minutes is shown.
Well, it should be more than that, without a doubt.
Greening looks for Ellington, he's onside here. Nathan Ellington could finish Birmingham off. He's hit the bar. He could have had a hat-trick, Ellington. And now Birmingham, given the lift by that miss, have to break at the other end. Kilkenny's played it too early though, and gave Melchiot no prayer of getting there.
Well, I think Birmingham were crying out for an offside decision against Ellington, but it didn't come.
In by Kilkenny. Kuszczak has come to claim it. He draws breath, but at the moment the momentum is with the visitors.
And the substitutes have certainly livened proceedings up, without a doubt.
Lazaridis. Davis. Albrechtsen. Played against Kanu. Lazaridis. But Easy is it? Kilkenny. Is it? It's a foul by, is it, on Watson?
It's good defending again by Watson. They got into a good position. They stood the ground well. Oh, that man could have finished it off there. There was a hint of offside, but Melchior looked like he was playing them on again. Strikes it really well, beats Taylor, but just cannot get it under that bar.
Heskey. Melchior. And again. Kilkenny's ball in. Watson underneath it. Heskey.
Oh, sniff of a half chance there. It was bouncing around the West Brom box. Just need a lucky break in those situations.
One minute left. This must have been one of the longest 90 minutes that Brian Robson and Steve Bruce have ever experienced.
Definitely. Definitely suits Brian Robson better than Steve Bruce, but they still have that game in hand. Chances, you have to say, West Brom have more than had the edge.
Latka. Status quo in the relegation battle between the Midland rivals. They can smile about it now, but that must have felt like a very long 90 minutes indeed for Steve Bruce and Brian Robson, who can resume social contact. Nathan Ellington having saved the day for West Brom, cancelling out Mikael Forsell's penalty, benefiting from an error by Mario Melchiot. But Ellington himself could have had a hat-trick after coming on as a substitute alongside Kanu, who also helped to change the game, hitting a shot well saved by Mike Taylor and then subsequently hitting the bar. It didn't look as though it would be West Brom's day when they missed two gilt-edged opportunities in that first half.